Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. And it is July 1st. I absolutely cannot believe it. We are back. We took the month of June off for industry chats, and I'm thrilled to be back now, and really thrilled to have a Fixify partner and my new friend that we met through a great networking dinner. So, Jeff Schaffer, the CRO at EVHA.ai. Welcome, Jeff.
Thanks for having me, Jasmine. Happy to be here.
I'm excited. I love the way we met was so like I think we were both at the Ancora dinner in Dallas, and we ended up sitting next to each other with people like not really in hospitality
I
around
think
us,
they
right?
planned
So
that, right?
yeah. So
Felt
then
like
we were
it.
like, but then you really like wowed us with all kinds of things. So I'm super excited to have you on the show. I think we talked at that dinner, like
Yeah,
regardless of if we work together, you have to be on the show. So welcome to Industry
appreciate
Chats.
that. Thank you. Happy to be part of the Fixify family and
I
here to chat with
know.
your audience.
Yeah, we're excited. In fact, I'm going to have you introduce Ava. You guys are newer, but getting some major, like a big splash. So I can't wait for you to introduce the product. I will just add a little plug here. So we were at High Tech, as everybody was at High Tech 2 weeks ago, and one of our consultants who's helping a very specific hotel find various tech connected with you through us. And he told us, he said, the Ava is the most realistic sounding AI voice that I have heard yet. And I thought, well, that's pretty amazing. And I think he was kind of like blown away. So congratulations. And
Thanks. You'll have to tell me who that was after the show in case
yeah,
I haven't followed up with them yet. But
I'll be your reminder.
appreciate that. We've worked very hard for what's in the AI world a long time, at least in the voice AI world. In this space, if you've been around more than a year or so, you're a dinosaur. Anyone tells you they've been doing AI for more than 3-4 years, at least voice AI, you should look at them funny.
Yeah.
But we're right around that line. Although we're new-ish to hospitality in the last couple years, our tech was actually born out of our own needs for our own
Mm,
call center businesses and our
right.
backgrounds. Both I and our founder heavily in the world of call centers and
Mm-hmm.
BPOs and industries outside of hospitality. But we
Yeah.
eat our own cooking. We've used our own AI internally for our own efforts in other companies for a long time. We rolled into the hospitality space a couple years back. And our claim to fame, as you said, is that we have the most human sounding voice AI in the space. That comes partially from us having a edge from a
Right.
technological perspective, but it also comes largely from our go-to-market model, which is that we deploy voice AI as a managed service and not just as a pure SaaS experience where we
Mm,
throw the keys to the car to the client and just expect them to suddenly be experts in tuning these highly complex
yeah.
mechanisms to be able to generate human level conversations, especially
Yeah.
complex ones.
Yeah. Well, I think and you're let's be honest, there's a lot of people trying to achieve this right now. The space is there, crowded, but you guys are, whatever you're doing is rising to the top because it's being talked about. You were recognized. I think you guys, weren't you in the Modern Hotelier and that's how you were found by someone else? Or, I mean, you
Uh,
guys are just,
Early on, yeah,
yeah, you guys are
yeah,
getting such
valuable
recognition.
partners to us in the space, and we
Yeah.
got picked up
Yeah.
as a preferred vendor for Curator Hotel and Resort
Love that.
Collection. We're the
Hmm.
only standalone voice AI provider in their program, and we've found a bit of a niche. Learning this industry from the ground up, and realizing that the world of independence is different than the flags and so on. There's all these different buying layers. We had to really find where in the market people actually care about the quality. And that may sound a little
Yeah.
bit, standoffish, but the reality is there's a lot of parts of this market where the quality is not that important, and anybody's happy to just have something better than press
Yep.
two for Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Or have some sort of old school IVR, and anything better than that is an
Yeah.
improvement. But what
Yeah.
we found, particularly in luxury, is that the more human the experience is, the higher of an autonomy rate you're going to get. And an autonomy rate is
Absolutely.
the rate at which the AI can fully resolve a call without
Mm,
needing to escalate that call to a human.
yeah. Yeah.
We like to avoid what we call machine rage in this industry.
Yeah.
We've all had machine rage, which is 0000. Let me talk to a human, right? And I'm the worst. It's
I'm the
ironic
worst.
that
Yeah.
that I'm in this space now, but we know that the higher and more human the AI sounds, the less likely someone is to want to escalate the call to a
Mm-hmm.
human.
Mm-hmm.
We've
Mm-hmm.
spent a ton of time battling the things that AI tends to struggle with the most, i.e., latency, ability to handle multi-part complex questions, and just the ability to not sound too overly sanitized. We have
Yeah.
a backstory and a personality for every one of the voices we deploy at any of our hotels. It's not just,
Yeah.
hey, pick a voice and every single voice sounds like a super sanitized recent college graduate, person. We have a
Mm.
backstory and a personality that goes with all of them.
I love it. No, I think that's phenomenal. And really, I am that person too. So I typically go into any kind of automated setting, like immediately not wanting, but being done right, not only are you guys helping the guests, but you're actually helping the staff engage so much better and the things that matter. And I'm really curious. You said something in the pre-show that I have to talk about because we do get a lot of AI, industry chats, Fixify just being who we are. We get a lot of
Sure.
AI experts or people that, want to be experts and things like that. But you said something so interesting, and it's just basically like, let's just break this down and simplify it. And I'm not going to quote you exactly right, but we're making such a big deal about this. And maybe we just need to figure out the first step to just, what is AI and how's it going to work for me? And it doesn't need to be this complicated, because you're right. I mean, it's like I'm overloaded on it, and we're only
Sure.
a year or two into this. Like, what's the world going to be in 5 years? So how would you recommend, whether it's with Ava or, just your expertise, a hotelier really breaks it down and like understands how they can see efficiencies improve or anything just through adopting AI. Let's simplify.
Well, first I'll say what we're seeing, and you're probably seeing a lot of this too. I'm sure a lot of the viewers today are probably at the going through the same sort of experience, which is there is this, let's make a committee to examine AI. Let's have a board. Let's everybody try to become experts in this thing. And there's this like very esoteric sort of, let's meet about it so we can meet about it so we can talk about it so we can plan about it sort of mentality
Yes.
going on. And while yes, you should measure twice and cut once and not make, especially at the deep end
Yeah.
of the pool and at the enterprise and institutional level, mistakes from moving too
Yeah.
quickly, there are ways to mentally at least break down what deploying AI within our business actually looks like at a tactical level, right? So the way we've tried to position this to help our clients better understand sort of the implementation approach is to break, and again, this is just for voice. We're talking about voice AI here, where we're replacing anywhere that a human could have a conversation on the phone.
Right.
Break it
Right.
down into what we call routines, right? Where does the call start? What happens on it? Where does it go?
I
So
love
at your
that.
average hotel, when they're thinking, oh, how can we implement voice AI for this and for reservations and for that? Break it down to where can we make the biggest difference operationally and financially, the fastest and
Mm,
the easiest. So the first
hmm.
place for most hotels above, 150, 200 rooms or more is calls from guest rooms to the front desk,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yep.
where you may have limited staff. You may have front desk team members that are having to answer calls while people are trying to talk to them that are physically standing there, and vice versa. Calls
Right.
are going unanswered. Maybe at smaller properties, you have little to no staff overnight. Calls aren't getting answered. So
Yeah.
we'll say, okay, that's great. You want to do all these other things. And yes, AI can do a lot of stuff. It can upsell room service. It can make reservations if we can get linked up to the right booking engines and so on. But look at a very prescriptive tactical approach. Can we make sure that 100% of calls from guests actually at the hotel are answered on the first ring?
Mm,
Yes. Can we make sure that upwards of 80% of those calls are resolved without ever needing to escalate to a human? Yes. Solve that first, right?
right.
Then we can look at how, fancy we can get and what accent you want the AI to speak with while we're making a spa booking, right?
Yeah.
So we break down the implementation into these different routines, and generally calls from guest rooms to the front desk is where you're going to have the fastest, most noticeable lift that's going to
Hmm.
come through in terms of ops, NOI, ROI, and of course reviews, because no
Yeah.
one's ever going to complain about the call not being answered.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one type of way to look at it. And then when you look at, outside of property, we're talking about booking reservations and we're talking about operating in like a call center
Mm,
environment. that's where you want to have someone at the helm, AI expert or not, who really understands what
Yeah.
the call center world looks like and what that conversation flow looks like. Because ideally,
Mm,
what you want to do is take all of your people, and this is applicable to hospitality, reservation booking, and
yeah.
everywhere else. You want all your humans to be tier two people. You don't want
Yeah.
them dealing with tier one informational calls, gathering some basic data points, making sure there's some intent,
Mm,
verifying intent and interest in continuing with the
right.
call. AI can do all of that and do it quite well, do it in line 100% with whatever your brand standards are without
Absolutely.
deviating from that and giving you additional management burden to just enforce and listen to people's calls and making sure they're saying what they're supposed to say.
Right. Right.
So on property, kind of use case number one, that's what we look at and what we encourage our clients to look at is where can you get that biggest lift? And it's generally calls from guest rooms to the front desk as a
Mm,
step one. That's also
hmm.
where we're able to achieve the highest autonomy rate right out of the gate. Like we've done, we have a case study floating around for beautiful property, the Argonaut Hotel in
Oh
San
yeah.
Francisco,
Yeah.
Noble House property.
Yep. Very
And
familiar.
we're resolving 80% of calls from guest rooms to the front desk with zero human involvement. That is a high-end luxury environment.
Are you guys, what's the biggest thing, and maybe you don't track this, you'll have to tell me. I would think you would, but like, do you guys track the biggest ask, the things that guests are saying the most? Like, I just need more towels, or I need this. I mean,
Oh
that
yeah.
would be a really interesting metric.
Yeah, so we do that in a couple ways. We do that for every property, and as I mentioned at the beginning of our kickoff here, we take a managed services approach to voice AI implementation. So aside from just the implementation, the ongoing management of that, we're
Yeah.
constantly tuning and optimizing how the AI is performing, and that's based on an analysis of calls, listening to the call recording. And so as part of that, we tag the top, what we call intent drivers. So if you look at three properties of similar sizes, they could have slightly different intent drivers. Maybe at one property, one of the top three things is someone wants their car from valet, right?
Mm,
At
mm-hmm.
other ones, it's a housekeeping request. At other ones, it's questions about the restaurant, things like that. So yes, we track that, but beyond tracking that for our own purposes to optimize the conversation for our customer, we also provide the ability for our customers to query our AI and essentially talk to
Oh,
our AI.
nice.
Because
Yeah.
if you think about it, just like all the other systems and reports and tools that a GM would have, uh, you have a tool now that's recording every single conversation that
Yep.
guests are having with your team. So if a
Mm,
problem surfaces with just one person on your team, maybe you never hear of it. If that same problem surfaces with five people one time each, maybe you still never hear of it. But if you ask the AI, tell me about any problems at the hotel in the last couple of days,
I was
and it
gonna.
has every single analysis of every recording that's happened. Now you have a true, lens, a true bird's
Mm,
eye view of
mm-hmm.
everything going on in the hotel, and can pick up things also like, intent and attitude and things like that, inflection and so on. So we
Mm,
provide this operational analyzer tool
mm.
for our properties to use as well.
What do you guys see, or if you track this as well, like any kind of uptick or increase in guest satisfaction scores after based on, because you're like, for me, I'm a mom. So if I'm traveling with my kids and I can't get an answer, you know how it is. And your kid's like, I need breakfast or I need this. And
Oh
you're
yeah.
like, like I can't get a hold of someone. I'm frustrated. That could lead to negative reviews. But given that you guys are doing like 80+% for the Argonaut, for example, you're capturing, you're successful for them. Have you guys tracked then post stay metrics like satisfaction's gone up, or is that not really something you guys are there
Yeah,
yet with?
we've heard it anecdotally. We've been privy to some data that we will take some credit for,
Yeah. You
100%,
should. Yeah.
based on implementation dates and
Mm,
and so on. We haven't yet published a case study that's in the works for it,
okay.
but we're looking forward to that. We have one
Yeah.
coming out for that, and one coming out before too long for in-room dining and showing average
Mm,
ticket size increase from AI versus
yeah.
people.
Well, from what I know about just that dinner, at our table, you're like the marketing guru and the data guru. So I'm sure you're going to be able to pull all kinds of things that you guys can really talk up as you grow Ava and your client base grows. So very exciting. So tell me a little bit, if I'm a hotel you're watching today, sounds
Mhm.
like step one is, I love what you said, is your people are tier two. They should not be taking tier one basic questions. So before even implementing AI, do you recommend kind of mapping out like what are our people handling today from our guests and what could we let the AI handle? I mean, is that something you guys do during implementation, or what would be step one when someone comes to you and they're like, we've never done this, help
Sure.
us get started?
I, well, much like the reasoning that goes behind us not giving our clients just the keys to the car, we
Yeah,
don't expect them, the uninitiated, to just suddenly be experts even in AI pre-planning, right? Because you don't
yeah,
know what you don't know and you don't know what's out there. The
right.
first thing I would do, and you probably won't get this answer from me, the first thing I would do is go ahead and turn on call recording on your own systems.
Very smart. Yes.
Because if you're going to train an AI, or you're going to have us as your partners train the AI, wouldn't you want to have a baseline to at least know how your humans are answering calls? In the absence of that, there's a lot of guessing, right? So step
Mm,
one, and make sure you check your boxes as far as legally required disclosures. This call's
yeah,
being
of
recorded
course.
if you're in one of those
Hmm.
states and all that, but I'm nobody's lawyer. But turn on your call recordings as a start. That way you actually
Mm,
know what's happening on calls, number one.
mm-hmm.
Number two, although you don't want to go down the rabbit hole of, well, can AI do this? Can it do that? What do we want it to do? Where is it going to make the biggest financial impact
Yeah.
and
Yep.
the biggest impact to the guest experience? Because I think if
Mm,
you forecast out 2, 3 years, probably three-quarters of these companies that are raising, 7, 8, 9 figures in the AI space are not going to be around anymore, because there's not really, it's more of a focus on, isn't that cool, as opposed to what difference can this make
right.
financially, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so when we look at implementation within a property, there's some soft benefits, soft financial benefits. We'd say things like GSS scores, and things
Okay.
like preventing bad reviews, and things like making sure that every call is answered on the first ring. And then there's the more direct black and white conversation that some people shy away from having, which is, what opportunity is there to, we'll say, upskill people and put them into a different role
Yeah.
potentially, or potentially to cut superfluous payroll at times.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot that the AI can do that, especially in certain metropolitan markets, people are,
Mm,
businesses are overpaying for. So I think
mm,
when you look at, what can we do to get ready, is one,
yep.
make sure you're pairing with a business that actually understands your business and actually understands, uh, not just, hey, where can we use AI, but where would it be a good idea? Where can we make a financial impact, and align with partners that understand
Mm,
that at the end of the day, this solution, whatever it is, needs
yeah.
to not just be the shiny new Ferrari, but needs to be something that actually is going to have an impact and is going to have a lasting presence. I think there's a
Mm,
lot of, hey, try this right now
mm-hmm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
space. And I
Mm-hmm.
say in the space, both in hospitality and in AI in general, there's a lot of, oh, let's try this out. Let's do this pilot for this. But if you really look at what impact is a solution going to have, I mean, start with, what's the goal? What's the stated goal, proven benefit that a business can deliver, an AI partner can deliver, such as X% of calls resolved with no humans. And what we see, unfortunately, I think this is unfortunate for the industry, is a lot of folks, and I guess you're trying to fix that with the content you're putting out. A lot of folks are completely focused on the wrong thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'll give you some examples of that. Some examples of that wrong thing is, oh, I want a fancy dashboard and reports to look at.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
But
cool.
that's not the goal.
Dashboards are great. I want it to tie into these other 6 systems I have. Okay, maybe. Why? What do you
Mm-hmm.
actually need it to do?
Mm-hmm.
Because what we're seeing is businesses are going through all this, hoteliers are going through all this, going through this massive, RFP
Yeah.
process, and all these integrations and everything. And for what? To
Yeah.
resolve a quarter of calls,
Yeah. Yeah.
to still end up having 3/4 of the calls have to be escalated to a human, because you picked a low end solution that's just a chat GPT wrapper
Yes.
that, because it integrates with 5 other systems, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, when you really look at like, what is the point? And I'm talking voice AI specifically here, right? I'm not an expert in, all things AI and data analysis and everything, but if we're talking about robots replacing humans
Yeah.
on the phone
Mm-hmm.
specifically, and
Mm-hmm.
having these
Mm-hmm.
conversations, what is going to be most important? What's going to be most important is that AI being able to converse like a human or as close to it
Yeah.
in as many
Yeah.
cases as possible. The other thing is really determining, this gets back to your previous question, really determining at the onset what the scope is. There's when we implement, every single call gets answered by our AI, but every single call has an option to have an exit, an off ramp,
Nice.
right? So we
Okay.
define what's in scope, what's not in scope, what qualifies as an escalation, et cetera. Because if
Mm.
you, the only thing worse than not having your call answered is someone who just really needs to talk to a human that can't get through
They really
a
do.
bad
Yeah.
AI, right?
Yeah.
And so, really defining what's in scope, what's out. A good example, at some properties, valet, I need my car, is going to be in scope. If it's in
Okay.
scope, our AI is integrating with the valet
Uh-huh.
system. We get their ticket number, we tell them their car is going to come up. In other properties, the call is going to get sent over to the valet, right?
Mm.
So work with a group that can that can really help guide you as far as determining what is in scope, what should we have the AI do,
Right.
and phasing this as well, right? What is a
Mm.
logical phase one, phase two sort of deployment? Because the
Mm.
panacea, everybody wants the panacea, right? All of our systems talk. There's only one thing to log into, and I have
Yeah,
the
we all
cheapest bill
wish.
possible. That's what everybody wants, right? And it does everything. I don't even need to show up. But
If
while we're
only.
on the way there, let's plan
Yeah.
out logically, intelligently, based on what capabilities
Mm.
these platforms have now,
Mm-hmm.
where we can make the biggest difference. And that's the other
Mm-hmm.
thing is, we don't know. We talk about a fast-moving industry where technology is evolving. We have the most human-sounding AI right now. Is that going to be the case in 6 months? Not sure. So
Right.
work
Yeah.
with a group that is also staying bleeding edge as far as how they're
Mm.
reinvesting into their own tech, and that's why
Yeah.
all these uh, vertical specific throw a hospitality wrapper on chat gpt sort of solutions, and they're not going to be long lived. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody, it's very easy now to stand up a decent and okay voice AI, but I can tell you it is
Yeah.
exceptionally hard to make one that
Yeah.
is as human as ours is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's phenomenal. I actually really appreciate your approach just to this entire conversation because you're realistic about it. I love that you guys offer an out, right? Like it's great to have the AI, it's great to have that tier one solution, but if someone really needs a human, you're not going to make it hard for them. I mean, these are the things that I think, and even your mention of that is really something people just avoid like crazy is talking about. Is this going to reduce some headcount, right? Do we have some payroll that we actually don't need as a result? It is the reality. I hate to say it, but people do not want to talk about that. I think there's a balance. And so I appreciate your
Yeah,
approach and really Ava's approach. One last question for you. And I always ask every guest this, so take it and kind of run with it as you will. But have
sure.
you had an aha moment in this entire journey, whether it be with AI and hospitality specifically, or just generally? Like, have you had an aha moment where you're like, okay, this is why I'm doing this, or this is why I want to help make a change because there's just so much noise right now.
Yeah, I think I have a couple of those a day.
I love that.
As far as within this industry, yeah, I mean, we've talked to partners and prospective customers and everything, and the aha moment, I'm going to pat ourselves on the back here,
You
just
should.
like
You should.
you commented at the kickoff of this, that consultant that um, you had test our stuff, or that had tested our stuff. The beginning of the conversation with, oh, we do AI, right? We do voice AI, or we, however you want to, I could wrap it up. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, someone knows you
Yeah.
do AI. Okay, eyes kind of roll back. We've all been inundated with AI this, AI that, AI everything. And then we send them our phone number. I like to say I'm very fortunate. My product literally speaks for itself. I have no
Yeah.
demo to do. We
You
literally
just
we tell people, go talk to our AI before you show up to a meeting with us, and we don't give them
very
any
smart.
guidance or any direction. You just go talk to it. Talk to it about your hotel. Talk to it about your day. Talk to it about whatever you want. And it completely changes the paradigm, because I think what happens is everybody assumes when they hear voice AI, okay, it's a robot. It's going to sound like a robot. It's going to
Mm,
be annoying. I'm going to hit a wall. It's going to interrupt me. I can't interrupt it. It's going to get lost. There's a certain level of perception that most of the
yeah,
market has about AI right now. And the aha moment is not one that I experience. It's when our customers or partners experience
I
it. They
love
hear it
it.
and they're like,
Yeah,
I don't know what you're doing, but now they start to see, oh wow, this can actually replace people in a lot of
yeah,
instances. And the
yeah,
aha moment with me for me was before I even joined the company. This is my third company with our founder.
yeah.
And when I heard that he'd been running a voice AI for a while, I said, I'll check it out. And I called it. And after being in my past role at a SaaS company in the performance marketing space, dealing with a lot of marketing agencies, a lot of call campaigns, I had heard and been pitched every voice
Every,
AI under the sun for the last 4 years.
mm,
And I heard ours, and I said to my buddy, our founder, I said, how did you do this, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's where we're at. We encourage anybody that wants to take the Pepsi challenge. You go to our website. You just go to EHVA.ai. Put your
Mm-hmm.
cell phone number in there. Our AI is going to call you.
Yep.
You could also call our AI directly at 833-419-2313. That's 833-419-2313.
Mm,
Tell it about your hotel. Tell it about whatever challenges you're having. Tell it about your day. It's not there for general information to give you a recipe for chicken noodle soup, but if you want to know how we can help you improve NOI and ROI at your
so smart.
hotels, I can talk to you about that.
I love
And
it.
if all goes well, it'll try to set an appointment with me, so you can
Ah.
hear how it does for actual appointment setting and complex conversations.
Very nice. It's so smart. And what we'll do here, so when we follow up post about this episode, we'll include that number so people can call it. And just keep in
Cool.
mind, if you're watching, you can connect with Ava and Jeff through Fixify as well. So they are a vetted, validated partner. And we are very thrilled to have you guys on. And I think, of course, connect through the phone number, find Jeff through Fixify, and then on LinkedIn too, right? Is that a good place to connect with you as well?
Yep, I'm there as Jeffrey, Jeffrey, Schaffer at EVHA. So look forward to connecting there or through the Fixify marketplace. Appreciate you having me.
Awesome. Yes, it's such an honor. And they are under our guest engagement category for those wondering. So that category has been getting a lot of action lately. So it's definitely a hot topic. We appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you for
Thank
being a
you.
guest. And we'll have to have you back as you guys progress and continue to learn more about what Ava's up to. It's super intriguing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for
Bye
having me.
everyone. Be back next week.